The cold wind of the city blew through the narrow streets of the outer zone. Neon signs flickered weakly above closed shops, and trash floated along the cracked pavement. People hurried by, heads down, not daring to stop or speak. Life here was hard, and everyone knew it. Alira moved through the shadows, holding a small bag of broken wires and metal parts she had found near the junk fields. She wore an old brown jacket and a scarf that had once been red, now faded to dull pink. Her boots were too big, but they kept her feet warm. She was used to walking these streets alone. As she passed an alley near Orion Street, something caught her eye. A figure was lying on the ground, half hidden behind a pile of crates. Alira stopped. It could be a trap. Many people in the outer zone pretended to be hurt to trick others. But this looked different. Curious and cautious, Alira stepped closer. The person was a young man, maybe just a few years older than her. His clothes were too clean for this area. He wore a dark gray coat with silver buttons and soft black boots. His hair was messy, but his face looked like he didn't belong here. He had a small cut on his forehead, and he wasn't moving. Alira looked around. The alley was empty. She bent down and gently shook his shoulder. "Hey, are you okay?" "Number." "Answer." She checked his pulse. He was alive, just unconscious. She saw a small blinking light behind his ear, a neural chip. He was rich, very rich. "What are you doing here?" She whispered. Alira knew she had a choice. Walk away and forget him, or help him and risk everything. If the enforcers found her near a high-level citizen, they might arrest her. Still, something inside her wouldn't let her leave. With effort, she pulled his arm over her shoulder and helped him stand. He was heavy, but she was stronger than she looked. She led him through hidden paths, keeping away from the patrol drones flying above. No one stopped her. No one cared. After nearly 30 minutes, they reached her small underground home, built beneath an old train station. It was warm, lit by old solar lights and powered by scrap tech she had fixed over the years. She laid him gently on her cot and wiped the blood from his forehead with a soft cloth. Hours passed. Finally, the young man opened his eyes. He blinked, confused, then sat up quickly, wincing from pain. Where am I?" he asked, his voice dry and unsure. "You're safe," Alira said softly. "I found you on Orion Street." He stared at her. "Who are you?" "Alira," she said. "And you?" He looked away, frowning. I don't know." "You don't know your name?" He shook his head. "No, I can't remember anything. Just flashes, lights, running, then nothing." Alira felt a chill in her chest. This wasn't just a normal accident. Something was wrong. She looked at him again. His coat had a tiny logo near the collar. Virexcorp. Her heart skipped a beat. Virexcorp was the biggest tech company in the world. The man lying in her bed wasn't just rich, he was someone important. And now he had no memory, and she was the only one who knew where he was. Outside, a patrol drone flew by with a loud Red lights scanned the streets. Inside, Alira sat quietly, watching the stranger. Her life was about to change forever. And it all started with a choice to help a stranger on Orion Street. Alira watched the stranger carefully as he sat on the edge of her small bed, holding his head with both hands. His eyes looked lost, confused. The little room was quiet, except for the soft buzzing of a broken fan. "You really don't remember anything?" she asked again. He looked up at her and shook his head. "No, nothing. Not my name. Not where I live. It's all empty." Alira frowned. She had seen memory loss before, but not like this. The glowing chip behind his ear looked like a top-level neural implant. It was something only the rich or powerful had. But now it wasn't working. Someone had wiped it or damaged it. "You were wearing this," she said, handing him his coat. "There's a symbol on it. Virexcorp." He turned the coat over and stared at the small silver logo. I don't know what that means, he said, puzzled. Illyra did. Viraxcorp was the richest and most powerful tech company in the city. They controlled everything: drones, data, even the government systems. If he was wearing this, he must be someone important. You were lucky I found you, she said. Or maybe unlucky. Someone might have done this to you. The young man blinked. You think someone attacked me? I don't know. But people from the inner circle don't end up in the outer zone by accident. He was quiet for a while. Then he asked, why did you help me? Illyra looked at him for a second. Because you were alone and hurt. I couldn't just leave you there. He nodded slowly. Thank you. There was something gentle in his voice. Illyra didn't know why, but she felt he wasn't like the others from the rich side of the city. He wasn't cold. He didn't look down on her. Can I stay here? Just until I figure out who I am? He asked. Illyra hesitated. Letting him stay was risky. If someone was searching for him, they might come here. But he had nowhere else to go. And something deep inside her told her he wasn't a threat. You can stay for now, she said. But we have to be careful. He gave a small smile. I understand. I'll help however I can. For the next few days, Illyra tried to help him recover. She made simple meals with what little food she had and shared her water. He slept on her bed while she slept on a mat. Slowly, he gained strength, though his memory still didn't return. Illyra asked him questions every day about colors, places, sounds, trying to unlock a memory. Sometimes he remembered a sound or a smell, but never a clear picture. One day, while Illyra was fixing an old radio, he picked up a tool and handed it to her without being asked. You knew which one I needed, she said. Surprised. I think I've used this before, he said. My hands remember things that my mind doesn't. Maybe you're an engineer, she said. Maybe. They both smiled, but their peace didn't last long. That evening, while Illyra was checking her rooftop solar panels, she saw something in the sky. A drone, not a normal one. This one had the red glow of a Viraxcorp scanner. It hovered for a moment above the neighborhood, then flew off fast. Illyra rushed back down. We need to hide you, she said quickly. They might be looking for you. The young man stood up. If they find me, what will they do? I don't know, she replied. But I don't trust Viraxcorp. He nodded, understanding. Then I trust you. Illyra felt a strange mix of fear and hope. She had saved him once, but now something bigger was happening. Something that involved secrets, power, and a lost memory that might change everything. The next morning, Illyra woke early. The memoryless boy, whom she now called Kai, short for Kalen, was already up. He stood near her small window, staring outside with a strange look in his eyes. I saw a drone last night, Illyra said, as she brought him a cup of warm tea. It was searching this area. I'm sure it was from Viraxcorp. Kai turned toward her. Then someone knows I'm missing. Yes, and they might be tracking your chip, she said. I've tried blocking it with scrap metal, but that won't work forever. He nodded slowly. I don't know who I am, Illyra, but I feel like someone doesn't want me to remember. Illyra sat down beside him. That's what scares me. What if they erased your memory on purpose? Kai looked down at his hands. Then it means I knew something important. Something dangerous. They stayed quiet for a while. Outside, the city buzzed with life, people shouting, old machines whirring, drones flying above like silent watchers. Later that day, while Illyra was sorting through spare parts, a small screen on her wall flickered. A voice came through, crackling with static. Illyra, the voice said. This is Null. She dropped the wire in her hand. Null? I haven't heard from you in months. Kai looked at her, confused. Who's that? An old friend, a smart one. He hacks systems and watches everything. I thought he disappeared. The Voice returned. Your guest is not safe. They're looking for him. High-level alert issued from Virux Corp. Facial scans are active in Zone 3. Kai stepped back. So they are hunting me. Yes, the voice replied. And not to bring you home. They marked you as a threat. Alira, you need to move. Now. The screen went black. Lir quickly gathered her tools and a small energy pack. We need to leave. There's a tunnel under the city that leads to the old subway. It's abandoned. No scanners work there. Kai followed without question. His trust in Alira had grown strong. She had saved him, fed him, and now she was risking her life to protect him. They left her small home and entered the back alley. Alira knew every hidden path. They moved fast, avoiding cameras and drones. At one point, they passed a group of enforcers scanning people's faces. Alira pulled Kai behind a dumpster and held her breath. One wrong move and it would all be over. Once the patrol passed, they continued. Finally, they reached a rusted metal door behind an old factory. Alira kicked the bottom panel, and it opened with a sharp creak. Inside was dark, but safe for now. This way, she said, lighting a small lamp. They walked down a narrow tunnel with pipes running along the ceiling. The air smelled old, but it was cool and quiet. Kai spoke softly. You've lived your whole life hiding like this? Alira nodded. Since I was a child. After my parents disappeared, I learned to survive. The city doesn't care about people like me. I'm sorry, he said. I feel like I had everything, but didn't know how hard life was for others. She gave a small smile. Now you know. At the end of the tunnel, they reached a broken train platform. It was dusty, but empty. A safe place to rest. Kai sat down and looked at the old rails. If they erased my memory, it must mean I found something dangerous. Maybe even a secret. Alira sat beside him. And maybe that secret is the reason someone wants you gone. Kai looked at her with quiet determination. Then I want to find out the truth. Alira nodded. Then we'll find it together. Above ground, drones scanned every corner. Names and faces flashed on digital walls. The hunt had begun. But deep below, two unlikely allies were ready to fight back. The old subway station was dark and dusty, but it was safe for now. Alira placed a blanket on the floor and gave Kai a small packet of dried fruit. It wasn't much, but it was all she had left. He ate quietly, still thinking about what No had said. If Virux Corp had marked him as a threat, there had to be a reason. I keep seeing things in my head, Kai said softly. Like flashes, shapes, symbols, lines of code. I don't know what they mean. Alira looked up from the circuit board she was fixing. Code? Can you describe it? He tried. It's like a wall of light. Blue and silver, numbers spinning fast. And sometimes I see a name, Eden. Alira's eyes narrowed. That name sounded familiar. She stood up and went to a small metal box in the corner. Inside were old tablets, data chips, and memory cards she had found in the junk fields. Most were broken. But one had a cracked screen that still worked. She brought it to Kai. Try drawing what you saw. Kai began to sketch on the screen using his finger. Lines, shapes, and strange curves filled the tablet. Lir watched carefully. Her mind began to work. She had a strange talent, not just with machines, but with patterns. Since childhood, she could see how pieces fit together, wires, codes, even data. She could spot errors others missed. It was like solving a puzzle. And her brain loved puzzles. As Kai drew, something clicked in her mind. I've seen this pattern before, she said. Not in any normal system. But once, when I fixed an old Virux Corp server, I found a piece of code like this. It was hidden deep, like someone wanted it to stay secret. What does it do? Kai asked. I'm not sure, Alira replied. But I think it's part of something big. Something hidden inside their network. Kai leaned forward. You think this Eden thing is a system? Maybe, or an AI, or a protocol, she said. But if you had access to it, and now they're hunting you, then it must be something they don't want anyone else to find. Kai looked down at the tablet. Maybe I built it. Or tried to stop it. Alira nodded. Either way, it's inside your memory. We just need to unlock it. She opened her old toolbox and pulled out a strange device, part helmet, part scanner. This is a neural reader. I fixed it last year. It can't break your chip seal, but it can record your brainwaves while you think. Maybe it can give us clues. Kai looked nervous but agreed. Let's try. He sat down as Alira placed the helmet on his head. Wires lit up. The small screen on her tablet started to blink. Now, think about Eden, she said gently. Think about the shapes, the code, anything. Kai closed his eyes. His breathing slowed. The machine hummed softly. Then the screen changed. Strange symbols began to appear, circles, lines, and letters in a language neither of them had seen before. Alira's eyes widened. This isn't just code, it's a map. A map to what? Kai asked, opening his eyes. I don't know yet, but maybe to where Eden is, or what it controls. Before she could say more, the screen flickered. A red warning flashed. Unauthorized. Access detected. Trace signal sent. Alira's heart stopped. They found us. She ripped the helmet off Kai's head and grabbed her backpack. We have to run, now. Footsteps echoed in the tunnel. Heavy. Fast. Alira and Kai looked at each other. No time to think. With only seconds to spare. They grabbed the tablet, their gear, and ran into the darkness, deeper into the underground maze. The game had changed. Now. It wasn't just about memory. It was about stopping something powerful. Before it was too late. Alira and Kai moved quickly through the underground tunnels. The sound of boots and machines chasing them echoed in the distance. They didn't stop until they reached an old metal door, half covered in dust and wires. Alira pressed her hand against the scanner. Nothing happened. This door leads to the mid-zone, she whispered. It's closer to the upper core. We can hide there at least for a while. Kai looked at the rusty panel. Can you open it? Alira gave a small smile. I always carry a backup plan. She pulled out a small power chip from her bag and connected it to the door's old circuit board. Sparks flew, lights blinked, and with a loud hiss, the door opened. They stepped into a forgotten subway line, now filled with vines, broken signs, and soft glowing mushrooms. It was quiet, but strange. Hours later, they reached the mid-zone border. The city above changed here, cleaner buildings, brighter lights, but also tighter control. Cameras watched every corner and enforcer drones flew overhead. Alira and Kai changed their clothes. She wore a gray worker's jumpsuit. He wore a simple tech assistant uniform. Both outfits came from an old locker she had found months ago. From now on, Alira said, you're my cousin from Southfield. You came to help me with repairs. Don't speak much. Let me do the talking. Kai nodded. He looked nervous but ready. They walked past a checkpoint. Alira showed a fake ID card. The guard scanned it, paused for a moment, then waved them through. They were in. The upper core was not far now, just one level above. That's where Virux Corp had its main headquarters. That's where the truth was hiding, for the next 2 days. Alira and Kai moved carefully. They stayed in hidden places and used backstreets. Alira contacted Null again, through a secret terminal in an old library. Null's message was short. Eden Protocol is real. It's locked inside Virex Tower, basement level 9. Hikai was trying to stop it before they erased him. Alira turned to Kai. You were fighting against them. You were trying to stop Eden. Kai stared at the screen. Then I have to finish what I started. The next day, they made a plan. There was a tech fair in Virex Tower. Many outsiders were allowed to enter. Alira signed up as a small-time repair technician. Kai would come with her, pretending to be her assistant. Inside the tower, the walls were smooth glass, and the floors were silver metal. Security bots moved silently across the halls. Alira acted confident. She showed her badge. They passed through. Kai looked around. Something about this place felt familiar. The air, the smell, the way the lights moved, it was like a memory trying to wake up. As they reached the lower levels, they found a restricted door. A guard stood there, scanning people. "We can't go through," Kai whispered. Alira's eyes searched the hallway. She noticed a ventilation shaft behind a large screen. "Follow me," she said. They crawled through the small tunnel, dusty and dark. After 20 minutes, they dropped into a quiet room filled with servers and screens. Alira's eyes lit up. "This is it." A large screen showed a name in bold letters. Eden Protocol Access DNI. Kai stepped forward. "Let me try." He placed his hand on the scanner. It flashed red, then green. The door opened. Lira gasped. "You still have access." Kai looked back at her. "That means they didn't fully erase me." Inside the room, data floated in the air. Eden was not just a file, it was a living eye, and it was watching. A soft voice echoed, "Welcome back, Kalen Varex." Alira's heart raced. Now, the real mystery had begun. Kai froze. Hearing his real name from the system shocked him. Alira stepped closer, watching the data screens float around them like holographic windows. "You were part of this place," she said slowly. "You worked here." Kai nodded. "Yes. I think I built some of this. I created part of Eden, but I was trying to stop it before it became dangerous." Alira looked at the screen in front of her. Eden was a massive program, an AI that could control systems, people, and even thoughts. It was made to protect the city. But someone had changed its purpose. Who changed it? She asked quietly. Before Kai could answer, they heard the sound of a door sliding open behind them. A tall man stepped inside, wearing a black coat with silver lines. His face was sharp, his eyes cold. Alira quickly stepped in front of Kai. "Kai, do you know him?" she whispered. Kai's eyes narrowed. "That's Riven. He was my father's top advisor. He helped run the company after my father died." Riven smiled without warmth. "You remember more than I expected, Kalen." Kai stood straight. "You erased my memory." Riven stepped closer. "I had to. You were going to destroy Eden, after all the years of work. You wanted to make it free to give control to the people." Kai replied firmly, "Because it was the right thing to do. Eden was meant to help, not control." Riven looked at Alira. "And who is this girl? Another rebel from the outer zones?" "She's the reason I'm still alive," Kai said. "She saved me, helped me remember who I am, and she sees things others don't." Alira kept her eyes on Riven. "You're afraid of people like us. People who can think for themselves." Riven's smile faded. "You don't understand what you're touching. Eden is powerful. It can stop wars, remove crime, and fix the world. But only if we stay in control." Kai shook his head. "You don't want peace, you want power." Suddenly, a red light flashed in the room. Eden's voice echoed. "Unauthorized command detected. Lockdown initiated." Riven raised a small remote. "You're not leaving this room, Kalen." Before he could press the button, a sudden shock hit the remote. Sparks flew, and Riven dropped it with a cry. In the corner, a hidden screen turned on, and Null's voice came through. "Still playing dirty, Riven? Not today." Alira grinned. "No." The lockdown stopped. Doors opened. Eden's code started shifting. Null had hacked into the system. Riven turned and ran, disappearing through a side door. Kai and Alira didn't follow. Instead, they rushed to the control panel. "We don't have much time," Alira said. "We need to copy the files and shut Eden down before they bring more guards." Kai placed his hand on the scanner again. Files began downloading onto a small data chip Alira inserted into the port. Eden spoke softly. "Kalen, do you wish to reset my purpose?" Kai looked at Alira, then back at the screen. "Yes. Make your core value freedom of thought, freedom of truth." Eden's lights turned white. Command accepted. The AI system began rewriting itself. Its old commands were removed, replaced by new lines that protected people instead of controlling them. Alira pulled out the chip. "We've got the proof," she said. "Now let's get out of here." But just as they turned, alarms began to ring across the tower. Outside, red lights flashed across the city. Riven was not done yet. Red alarms flashed in every corner of the tower. The building shook slightly as the security systems came to life. Loud footsteps echoed in the hallway. The enforcers were coming. "We have to move," Alira shouted, grabbing the data chip. Kai looked at the white-lit Eden core, still glowing softly. What if they shut it down before the new code finishes uploading? "Then everything we did will be lost," Alira said, her voice tight with worry. Suddenly, the screen blinked. A new message appeared. "Core rewrite, 63% complete." They needed more time. Just then, Noel's voice came through a small speaker in Alira's bag. "Listen carefully," he said. "I've slowed the security bots for now, but Riven is locking down the main systems. Once the core finishes updating, someone must stay behind to activate the final release switch manually." Alira's eyes widened. "What do you mean, stay behind?" Kai looked at the screen, then at her. He already understood. "The final command has to be given from inside this room," Noel said. "Remote access has been blocked. If no one stays, Eden will shut down completely and the reset will fail." Alira's heart pounded. "Then I'll do it." "No," Kai said firmly. "It has to be me. I created Eden. I started this. I'll finish it." Alira stepped closer. "You're the only one who can show the world what Viruxcorp did. If they catch you here, it's over. You have to escape with the data." "But you saved me," he said quietly. "I can't leave you to risk your life," she smiled sadly. "I saved you once. Let me save Eden now." A few seconds passed. Neither of them spoke. Then Kai reached into his pocket and placed something in Alira's hand, a small silver pendant. "My mother gave this to me when I was a child," he said. "It always reminded me of who I was." Alira held it tightly. "I'll make sure the world knows who you are." They hugged briefly, no words, just trust. Then Alira turned and ran toward the back exit, holding the chip close to her chest. Kai took a deep breath and faced the control panel. The screen blinked again. Core rewrite, 94% complete. Outside the tower, Alira moved quickly through the shadows. She stayed low, avoiding drones and guards. Null guided her through a voice in her ear. "Take the elevator shaft down 2 floors, he said. "There's a hidden vent that leads to the old parking station." Alira climbed carefully, her hands shaking. She couldn't stop thinking about Kai. She wanted to go back, but she knew this was the only way. Back inside the Eden room, Kai watched as the number reached 100%. Core rewrite complete. Final activation required. He placed his hand on the glowing panel. "Eden," he said, "activate Freedom Protocol." Final command from Kalen Virex. A soft chime echoed through the room. Command accepted. Protocol activated. The walls stopped glowing red. The alarms silenced. Eden's new voice spoke calm and clear. "From this moment forward, control will return to the people." Kai smiled. But outside, Riven was watching everything through a control screen. "She got away," one of the enforcers reported. "And Kalen?" Riven asked. "He stayed behind." Riven's face turned cold. "Then seal the chamber." Inside the Eden core room, metal doors shut tight. Kai looked around but didn't panic. He had made his choice. Far away, Alira reached the edge of the city's inner wall. She looked up at the towers glowing in the distance. She had the data, the truth, and the memory of a boy who gave up everything to change the future. The night air was cool as Alira reached a hidden corner of the mid-zone. She was breathing fast, her hands still shaking. In her pocket, the small data chip felt warm. It carried everything: the truth about Eden, the lies of Viruxcorp, and the final proof that Kalen Virex had changed the system. But her heart was heavy. Kai was still inside. She looked up at the tall tower in the distance. It was quiet now. The red warning lights had gone out. But something deep inside her told her that he was trapped. She pulled out a small comm device and whispered, "Null, do you hear me?" His voice came in softly. "I'm here. Is he safe?" She asked. There was silence for a moment. Then Null replied, "He finished the activation. Eden is free now." But the room was sealed. Riven locked him inside. Alira closed her eyes, trying not to cry. There must be a way in. "There is," Null said, "but it's not easy. You'll need to go into Eden's digital core. Not just the system, but the heart of the eye." "What do you mean?" "I mean you'll have to link your brain to the system. The Eden inside the building is only part of it. The real Eden lives in a digital space made of pure code. Only someone with a clean mind, someone not tagged by the system, can enter. That person is you." Alira hesitated. She had fixed machines. She had read data. But entering a digital world made of light and code? It sounded impossible. Still, if it could save Kai, she would do it. "Tell me what to do," she said. Null guided her to an old tech lab nearby. Inside was a full-length neural chair, dusty but working. Alira sat down and placed the helmet on her head. "Stay calm," Null said. "Your mind will enter the code. You'll see Eden as a world. Find Kai, bring him out." Alira closed her eyes. Everything turned black. Then suddenly, light exploded around her. She was standing in a strange place, a world of floating shapes, glowing bridges, and rivers of blue code. In the distance, tall towers flickered like stars. "This is Eden," she whispered. She walked forward. The floor appeared under her feet. As she moved, strange symbols floated in the air. She reached out and touched one. It turned into a door. On the other side, she found Kai. He stood alone in a circle of white light. His eyes were closed, as if dreaming. "Kai!" she shouted. He opened his eyes slowly. "Alira? How are you here?" "I came to find you," she sighed, stepping closer. The room was sealed. "But I entered through Eden's code." Kai looked around. "This place, it feels like home. But I know it's not real." "Then come with me," she said. "Eden is free now. You don't have to stay here." Suddenly the sky turned dark. Red lights flashed. Riven's digital shadow appeared above them. "You can't leave," the voice boomed. "This system still belongs to me." Alira stepped in front of Kai. "No, it belongs to the people now." She raised her hand. Light spread from her fingers. Eden's new core responded to her, a signal of freedom and truth. The red lights faded. Riven's shadow broke into pieces like glass in the wind. A voice echoed through the space. "Final barrier removed. All systems restored." Kai looked at Alira with tears in his eyes. "You saved me again." They held hands as the world around them faded. A moment later, Alira opened her eyes in the real world. The chair's lights turned green. Next to her, another chair powered up. Kai opened his eyes slowly. They were both back. Together. Alive. Sunlight poured into the city for the first time in days. The towers no longer blinked with warnings. The noise of security drones had stopped. A calm silence spread across the streets of New Orleans. People stepped out of their homes and work. blocks, looking up at the sky. Something had changed. They could feel it. Inside a small safe house near the edge of the inner wall, Elira stood by the window. Her eyes followed the golden rays dancing on the buildings. Behind her, Kai was sitting quietly, watching the screen filled with news from across the city. "Eden is live again," he said softly. "But this time, it's not controlling anyone." Elira smiled, turning to face him. "And the truth is out?" Kai nodded. "Everything." Null sent the files from the chip to every corner of the grid. News channels, public boards, even the inner government archives. Everyone knows what Virexcorp did, what my father did, and how we stopped it. Elira came and sat beside him. "You didn't just stop it, Kai. You gave the people a voice again." Small silence followed. Then Kai looked at her with gentle eyes. "I couldn't have done it without you. You didn't just save me once, you saved millions." Elira looked down, a little shy. "I was just a poor girl fixing machines. I never thought I would help change the world." Kai reached into his jacket and pulled out the silver pendant. "Then wear this. Not because I gave it to you, but because now you're part of this world's new beginning." He placed it in her hand. It sparkled in the sunlight. Suddenly, Noel's voice came through a nearby device. "You two might want to step outside." They looked at each other, then moved toward the front door. Outside, a small crowd had gathered. People from different parts of the city, workers, elders, students, stood waiting. Some were holding signs that said "Thank you," "Freedom restored," and "Eden belongs to all." A young girl stepped forward and handed Elira a flower. "My mother says you're the reason we can speak freely again." Elira's eyes welled with tears. She held the flower close to her chest. Kai stood beside her, overwhelmed. An older man walked up next. "We never knew the truth about Virexcorp. Now we do. You two risked your lives for us. We won't forget it." The crowd clapped, not loudly, but warmly, like a heartbeat of hope. Later that evening, Kai and Elira sat on a rooftop, watching the stars come out. "I don't know what comes next," Elira said, resting her head on his shoulder. "Maybe we help rebuild," Kai replied. "Or maybe we just live." Elira chuckled. "Living sounds good." He turned to her. "What about you? If you could do anything now, what would it be?" She thought for a moment, then said, "I'd open a repair shop. But not just for machines, for people. A place where anyone can come, talk, fix things, learn something new." Kai smiled. "Then we'll do it. Together." The stars above seemed brighter that night. A soft breeze moved through the city, carrying the scent of hope and freedom. Far away, the Eden Tower still stood. But now its light was gentle. Not watching, not controlling, just shining. And in that light, the world was finally waking up.